Gentlemen No Class is proud to be a part of the HC Universal Network. Gentlemen No Class is produced and recorded at M5 Studios and is mixed and edited by Final Curtain Media.
This podcast contains explicit language and is intended for adult audiences. The views and opinions of Gentlemen No Class are strictly for comedic purposes and should not be taken literally. For instance, like this disclaimer. Now grab yourself a pint and enjoy.
Welcome to another episode of Gentlemen No Class, a podcast that when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. I'm Jake.
I'm Ralph.
I am Paul.
I'm Rob.
And like it or not, gentle ladies and gentlemen, we are the hosts of this new
Fantastic
podcast. There you go.
podcast. It's not new. It's not
Yeah,
new.
not
We're
Did I say new? Did I say new? I was going to say new episode. That's what I was trying to say. But
Bullshit.
I couldn't think of it at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's another great week with Gentlemen No Class. Joining us tonight in studio is a longtime friend of mine, Mr. Randy Gomez. We're going to be talking about, we're going to do another episode on Skinwalker Ranch because me and Jacob got in an argument about wolves, and we didn't get to finish our topics because Paul was all butthurt at the end of the episode.
I was?
Yeah, because you don't remember. You were like, "No, sir, no, we're not done."
I fucking hate you. Remember that?
Yeah,
He did tell me that he hated
So when you
me.
guys had to
yeah, but I revealed who said it, though.
We try to keep the episodes limited to about an hour in length. Drive time, commute time.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we're
try.
trying to do that, but
Yeah. We're going to do that.
hour and a half,
I don't
2
care what-
hours.
I don't care what Paul
6,
says.
7 hours. We're good.
That's fine with me.
So where did we leave off at last episode? The wolves?
Well, let's hit some current events.
No?
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Just want to piss
So
off
yeah,
Rob.
one of the things that
You can't wait.
I know.
Can't wait.
okay, one of the things I wanted to bring up that Paul brought to my attention was there's a YouTube channel or video that's
Is this
called,
anything about that robot brothel? I told you we're not talking about that shit.
No.
We're
It's
saving that
called-
for an episode.
It's called
Got
the
it.
Apu I Know, and from what Paul
By
showed
Brain
me,
Dump. The
Huh?
channel Brain Dump.
Brain Dump. Okay.
Brain Dump.
Now,
Yeah.
this video shows how wrong that one comedian. What's his name?
I can't pronounce his name.
From where?
He made a documentary on True TV. It's called The Problem with the Pooh, and there's been a lot of criticism saying that Pooh's a racist character, and basically I believe where he stands on the documentary is when growing up. I mean, he loves the show, but unfortunately, at the time,
What show is this? Because
The
not everybody
Simpsons.
wants
I'm
to-
sorry, The Simpsons. Yeah.
Of course I knew.
Well, okay, yeah, I
Say
understand.
it.
Yeah. As growing up, he was bullied a lot because people would reference a poo and they would say quotes, and it was a stereotype. But at the time,
Is
it was
this
the only
guy Indian?
Yes,
Yeah.
at the time,
That makes
it was the
sense.
only closest representation for Indian descent that in Hollywood. So
Okay.
they think that he's a poor representation and it makes his people look bad. He's a bad stereotype and so on and this and this.
So you kind of set the foundation. Is that what you're trying to say? Like of the stereotype. Is that what you're saying? Or-
The
character.
documentary filmmaker or his
well, the character Apu.
the problem what he's saying about it.
Right, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
okay.
He said the documentary filmmaker. Like I said, I forgot his name. It's hard to pronounce.
Low life comedian.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to say that, but he's he had an opinion. He expressed it, and then he's probably was gonna expect that there's gonna be a lot of backlash.
Right,
but
right.
there's a lot of criticism of people that disagree with them. And I watched this video by Brain Dump called "The Apu I Know." It's about 45 minutes, which is almost the same length as the documentary "The Problem with the Pooh," and he offers great he goes into the character, what he's about, and how it compared to the documentary filmmaker's point of view. It might be a little too far stretched and hypocritical at the same time. And he brings up just a lot of good points, especially when it comes to acting and voice acting. And the problem they say is like, oh, Apu is voiced by a white actor. Oh, that they should get an actual Indian. And it's like, well, I said this before, and the guy on that made the Pooh I Know on the YouTube channel, he was stating that it's voice acting. So
Right.
if that's if the case, we're going to remove him. It's because he's a white actor, and therefore should be played somebody close to the actual character. Well, then you need to redo, and a lot of people are going to get fired because voice acting, it's acting.
Right,
You're
right.
acting. You suspend. I'm supposed to. If I'm watching a movie, I want this guy I'm watching to suspend my belief that this is really happening, and that's it's good
Absolutely.
acting. He's portraying something he's not.
Well, it's like
Do they- I mean,
Yeah.
Throwing something.
does anybody that does a fucking accent, does somebody watch Game of Thrones? Like,
There you
those
go.
people aren't fucking British.
exactly.
You know that, right?
Right.
They're not?
That's it. That's a double standard.
We talked about this.
and
at
like
a-
that's I know we did, but
like,
this-
if you're going to play a fat character, I want you to be fat.
yeah,
not wear a fat
yeah,
suit,
exactly.
right?
Jesus
And you-
Christ.
if-
Not- we're not
if you're a
going
serial
back.
Well, we're
killer,
talking
you gotta
about
be a
the-
legitimate serial killer.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but it's
What's
double
the
standards.
backlash,
Like
though? What's the backlash that's
the
happening right now?
backlash is just that
They
they're
were
he's-
calling for Apu to be pulled off of the
because
song.
Oh, okay,
because
okay.
because they were saying he's
bad
improper
representation.
of the Indian people from
because
the country.
one person
But,
got a YouTube channel and was bullied as a kid. That's the thing that they chose
Ultimately,
to stick on it.
that's
If-
what
if-
it is. I hate to say it. It's an acceptance problem. Not everybody's going to accept you, but
Yeah.
Some people just don't have a sense of humor.
Because
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
is not in the country, damn it. No,
no, it's not
the
that.
joke. It's a joke.
Yeah, but
Nah, but
But it
in
just-
that YouTube channel, the one thing that I do like that he brings up is that he shows that Apu is not like a typical moron. That he's
Yeah.
actually smart. He came into this country
Right,
to,
right.
And then
to-
he actually
to
owns
br-
the store.
yeah,
owns
he's
the
very
store.
successful.
Yeah, he's successful.
But they do show that he has like
like
so
a
many
PhD,
children. And,
a
Yeah.
PhD or something like
He's
that.
got,
Like
he's got, and like
He's
he
got-
chooses to work in that. Store.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and he's actually a nice person. He's a volunteer
Exactly. Work ethic is
firefighter.
high.
There's
I
a
mean-
lot of positive things about
He's
this
a-
character. It's like how
It's
is
just
he?
the voice.
How is it's not even
Yeah.
that like, but based on those
Mannerisms and-
positive traits he has, how is that a bad? How is he a bad representation? Only because it's the accent, really,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
But
And
it's
then
it's a
yeah.
fucking
He owns
it's a character. He is
convenience
not
store.
real.
Convenience store, yeah.
He's based on a
Think you come
stereotype.
against shit.
And it's
that's
just
become
it's
a
just
thing,
done
yeah.
by voice acting. Voice actors do. The guy who does fucking Mario,
Yeah.
Good
he's
point.
French. He's not Italian. Therefore, by these
Mario?
guidelines, Mario from Super Mario.
Mario Lopez.
Yeah, yeah. Therefore, that I mean, the point is, like, if you're gonna have that mentality, then
dinosaur.
it's called acting for a reason.
And
Why, if we start acting like
Isn't Bart Simpson a chick?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
nobody's been
So's
about
Lisa
that.
Simpson.
No, Lisa Simpson.
well,
Yeah.
shut
Well,
the
yeah,
fuck
yeah,
up.
But no,
Yeah,
like
but
you know,
there's plenty of
Goku
actors,
is voiced
like-
by a white guy in America.
Not to mention too, like also because they're talking about Apu. She's not too much in the show, but his wife is voiced by Jan Hooks. She's white,
Yeah.
and she's supposed to be of Indian descent as well. It's like, but nobody's saying she passed away, but nobody says shit about that. And it's just a lot of the stuff. It just seems hypocritical on
It's
on
just
what
this
he's just saying.
PC
Like,
culture from
Yeah.
that
And
we've,
he's
but-
just-
that we've
Rob said it right
derivated from the
perfectly.
fucking internet. That's all it is. It's
yeah, I
It's fucking
suggest like,
social justice warriors getting offended for everybody.
Yeah.
You notice
Yeah.
that the guy,
Fuck that social
the
justice.
most of the people that bring this shit up are fucking white people
God
that,
damn
that,
it,
that
Paul.
get offended for everybody
Yeah.
else. I'm-
yeah.
Why'd you gotta bring this up, Paul?
What?
Good.
It's
said it, and I agree.
fine. It's honestly
No,
what's going
I'm
on.
with you.
glad
What
we're
Rob
talking
is
something
stating
light.
is pretty much, in summary, is what's going on, and it's.
No,
it's
I'm
just
sorry, I'm
ridiculous.
white. I don't have any guilt. I didn't do anything.
No,
Yeah,
no, no.
right?
I'm with you. I'm
Care
with you.
this shit.
We just need to have a little bit more thicker skin.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You
It's just
do.
worrying about
man.
stuff, petty stuff. Like it's like you can't be. Why would you direct your energy on something that's so petty, where there's real issues at hand
Yeah.
in our country? Direct your energy
Yeah.
to
Throw
something
that shit
more.
towards Harvey Weinstein a little harder.
There you go. But like how Rob says, the social justice warriors.
Yeah.
Everybody online.
Yeah.
Social media.
Exactly.
Front, and
When they
everything.
start a fight,
Exactly.
just as fucking
So
Yeah.
Randy doesn't know, so I have to tell him. You mentioned a name that could possibly lead into Saved by the Bell. We don't talk about Saved by the Bell.
Why do we not talk about Saved by the Bell?
That's another
No.
very touchy
Fuck that.
subject,
That's-
Because
or-
this
That's
guy
his
is
own personal
this-
thing.
Yeah,
There.
this
he
guy
speaks for the podcast. You know that, right?
What?
He speaks
No,
for the
fuck
podcast.
that. I like
Jesus
Saved by the Bell.
Christ.
Okay.
Classic Jacob.
Mario
I don't
Lopez.
I don't
let's do
like
this.
Saved by the Bell.
Hey,
Brought
is
it
he,
on.
hey,
Jacob-
hey, is
Jacob
Mario
likes-
Lopez really Is he really Lopez?
Yes.
He's
Jake-
good, Lopez. Yeah,
Jake
of course.
likes Saved by the Bell like white chicks like pumpkin spice lattes.
I
Hey,
think
that's-
I'm with him
All right,
too.
see, there you go. Come on, there you go.
I love.
Hi,
I
you got to
love
be
it.
daft. Not gonna be no.
That's
You got to
free.
be
We
daft,
all
man.
love it.
I love it.
We
I'm
all
sorry.
love it.
I know. Saved by the Bell.
I'm out of
Just
here.
So
Wait,
now Rob's
yeah.
gone, and
Yeah.
Let's.
But basically, like,
Welcome to our new podcast, Saved by the Bell Weekly.
special guest,
Mario Lopez.
You probably ain't doing anything else.
Right?
Mr. Tuttle.
Yeah. Just to recap what we were just talking about, like, just
Yeah.
I like, like when issues like going back to the poo thing. Like, I like to view everything on both sides, hear everybody
yeah,
out.
you have
And
to.
that's
You
why I
have to.
watched his documentary and hear him out. I'm not gonna just immediately shun him out. Most people do. I heard him out, but I disagree with a lot of things he had to say.
Right.
And this other video, if people are interested, like I said, the video is called the Apu I Know on Brain Dump's channel on YouTube. Check it out. It's a very the guys did his homework. He did a good job, and
Watch
it's funny.
both of them. That way,
but yes,
form your
exactly.
own fucking opinion
right?
on it.
Watch both. Just don't
It's a
be
very valid
one-sided.
point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't be
Two sides
one-sided.
to every
Because
story.
if you think
Gotta
about
look
it,
at
it's
it
a very
both- every angles.
subjective.
It is. Everything's
topic.
everything's
Yeah,
subjective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
it's somebody that you could call racist for one or two comments that they make. You could probably talk to their core group of friends, and they'll tell you, "Fuck no, they're not racist.
Yeah.
They're just fucking around."
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If somebody listened to this show out of context,
Yeah.
they would be
We're
like,
all
God,
racist.
They're like, God,
Yeah.
the fucking
Yeah.
that
It's
guy
like-
is fucking racist
Exactly.
against Mexicans
It's like,
a
man,
lot.
yeah.
Like, 'cause
We
I-
we all go
We
through
all know
so
Rob
much
is.
bullshit. it's
Against my table, that is.
Yeah.
Okay? He's racist against my table.
we all go through so much bullshit through life, and like it's just how we just like to vent and
you're right.
Yeah.
just
I'm with you, man.
enjoy
I
and
like
like
that.
just have a
And the
laugh.
way
Good
we
point.
bullshit.
The
I wish I
life
had
is
a
full
beard
of
or
tragedies.
toast,
We
but-
can fucking laugh.
I'm out.
all right.
Don't take that away from us.
What else
PC.
we got? Let's get on to something a little less
Socialized boys.
divisive.
There you go.
I got
Jesus.
the Daredevil
Very strong.
season 3. Reviews are high now.
You,
Rob bring
you
up-
and Paul finished season 3, right?
Yes,
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. So I read an article separate from the reviews that
Okay.
that
Fuck your
viewership according to Netflix is down from the last couple of seasons.
Okay.
From the first couple of
Right.
weeks, you know what I
Okay.
mean? So, but that I don't know what that means. I don't know if they're planning. They've already canceled Iron Fist and Luke Cage,
Yeah.
which fucking sucks because
That's
Luke Cage was good.
I
Yeah,
haven't
they
seen
canceled
it.
him. They're not
Yeah.
renewing him. But
But-
I've heard rumors that they're gonna do a Daughters of the Dragon,
Right,
Misty
yeah.
Knight, and what's her name? Fucking Colleen Wing. And then they're gonna do. I mean, they canceled Iron Fist and Luke Cage, so I don't know if they could do it, but I would love to see a fucking Heroes for Hire show. That would be awesome.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, Daredevil's their bread and butter. I mean, that
Yeah, dude.
Charlie Cox is
That
just.
fucking.
Oh yeah.
It said on the article, it was Netflix perfected the small time superhero.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it's just, dude, season 3 is just so
Yeah.
fucking great.
Character
Watching
arcs are
Wilson
fucking
Fisk
amazing and
just fucking
development.
come up.
Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio is fucking great.
Yeah,
He is so
very
fucking
menacing.
Yeah.
Have you watched it? Are you a big Marvel on Netflix fan?
I mean,
Randy?
I've seen a few just because Alan is way into
Oh,
it.
yeah.
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 But
So we
he's-
should have
he's-
brought
he's
Alan
fucking
in.
good.
Oh, that
So that's what I'm trying to say. You guys should have asked.
shit.
I'll take another mini boss, please.
Gasson,
Me too, Rob.
Yeah,
Please.
you get a couple mini bosses.
several.
Hey, I'll take a minute, boss.
So yeah, dead air.
Anybody else drink Beluga Light? That's what it sounded like in
Oh,
video.
yeah, thank you.
So,
This is a beer break, guys. Sipping on the Eureka Heights mini boss.
Eureka Heights, eh?
Eureka Heights.
Oh man, fucking
That's on 18th Street.
West
right?
18th, yes, sir.
man.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, shout out to what's it called quickly to Genius
I
Brewery.
didn't even get myself a beer. Jesus.
Oh shit.
Their fucking beer is amazing. I
Ingenious-
love it.
Yeah,
Wait,
Ingenious
Ingenious
Brewery.
Ingenious Brewery. That's in Humble. Yeah, they have
Mineral
great fucking beers. They rotate their what's it called their beers every like I don't know how often. Do you remember?
They didn't say.
like
They
every,
do.
I didn't
every
say
like
it's
2 to 3
seasonal.
weeks.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it's
not
like
even
3 weeks.
seasonal. It's weekly.
Yeah.
So, or,
Wow.
It's
so
like-
they'll
it's
do
like
like
Yeah,
they'll
it's
do a
weekly.
Yeah,
they'll do like a batch of, not weekly, but like he said, like
2 to.
they'll do like a
Bi-weekly.
big batch of a sour, and then they'll split it into a bunch of batches and flavor it differently. They do a lot of flavored
yeah,
beers.
it's good.
So we
Real good.
did a review. We were out there on Sunday. It'll just be one of our YouTube extras.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we did some interviews with all the artists that were out there, or most of the artists that were out there. The ones that agreed to be, some of them didn't want to talk because they were nervous, but
They weren't drunk enough.
The Be Someone artists were there.
yeah,
Oh,
but they
no
didn't want
shit.
to. Yeah, they didn't want to be on camera though.
on camera.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I
They
got
don't
an
want their
interview with
faces
them.
or their
Somebody,
names
right?
shown.
Oh,
Wait, is this
I
on
didn't.
camera?
Oh, really?
I interviewed them.
I wasn't there.
No, you were out.
No,
being
you were
Paul,
on
I
your
think.
you were on your hour road trip
There
to
you go.
Wendy's.
There you go.
That
That's what it
took
was.
fucking forever.
But we talked to.
There.
You were there.
Yeah, Ralph. We did it
fuck.
right when y'all were coming back.
Oh, I really wanted to see them. What do they look like?
We had
That's for me to know and you to find
Fuck
out.
Yeah, well, you'll get the footage soon.
no, there's no footage.
footage.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
be
sorry, you'll
filmed,
get the audio.
yeah.
You'll get the audio.
The audio.
We'll take
Yeah,
it.
they didn't want to show their name. Obviously, the no names and faces because they didn't want to be.
So are they Mexican?
Did y'all get
I don't
Dirty
know.
Coast?
We don't
we,
know.
We promised not to say anything.
Yeah.
Oh,
they
tell
they
me
want to be very
afterwards.
discreet.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
y'all
Way off
get
there.
Dirty
Secret?
Coast skateboards?
Do
Yeah,
what?
we got all of them.
Why is this a
Okay,
secret?
cool.
The
sweet.
guys that paint the Be Someone on the
Oh,
graffiti.
yes.
Yeah.
I know a couple of them.
Yeah.
Remove.
We don't.
I know that guy.
Yeah, we're not.
Oh,
that
damn, no
we
shit.
we
How the
promised that we
fuck-
weren't talk about any names.
No,
or
yeah. You.
How the
you
fuck
shouldn't.
did they
Yeah, you
do
shouldn't.
that? Like, is this like overnight when they go and spray paint?
Yeah, well, when not spray painting, it's like with big rolls and
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, in
okay.
an
They get-
interview,
what's it called? They get innovative with how they do it. real
But
quick.
see, like the
Yeah.
city of Houston, they embraced it,
well,
right?
for the most
Well,
part,
yeah.
in the-
Now, Mayor Turner has said that he's working on a way to like make those permanent, like, and block them all so people
So
can't
you
go up there and
can't,
fuck
yeah.
with them. So,
Oh,
So
okay.
in the interview, I asked
Big
him.
grid wire, like in
I asked him
California.
because it was recently changed to Be Mattress Mac instead of being Be Someone.
Yeah,
I
after
told
the
him like, how
hurricane.
many times have you actually had to touch it up and stuff? And he's like, 7 times. But
Damn.
out of those 7 times, it really just got busted for one time.
Oh,
But I mean, it was just like a slap on the whatever. I mean,
damn.
it's really
I'm
not
sure.
frowned upon.
I'm sure if they pushed it, like the DA probably wouldn't press charges against them.
No. Yeah.
Because I mean, it's become so
It's like a
iconic
landmark
of a
and-
thing in
And
Houston
it's,
that like
it's positive. It's
Yeah, it is.
it's it's a
we
very
see that, yeah.
it's Houston promotes us. We have a great art and culture scene here, and if people haven't gotten involved in it, I mean, there's so much. I mean,
There's so many avenues to.
yeah, I
to
mean,
get into it.
your our buddy Steven that we met that put on that art show out at Ingenious. I mean, he's trying to bring the art scene and stuff up to Humble, and I mean, God bless him. He had some great artists out there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there was
That,
all kinds of stuff out there.
that one company, Dirty Coast Skateboards.
Yeah, Dirty Coast Skateboards.
Their artist, he's fucking great. I was watching
Eugene,
him. Yeah,
I'm a
Eugene.
genius.
Yeah, Eugene.
He's funny too.
Yeah,
we
dude.
talk with him and like, he's a really cool guy.
Yeah, man. I saw him doing some of his work, just
Yeah.
working on there. I was like, dude, this guy is fucking quick with it, and he's fucking good.
Yeah,
He knows his
That was
shit.
pretty good
I
art.
was
Yeah.
tagging,
It's
yeah.
There was the
Skill
one
to do it.
candle,
man.
Ant.Skywalker, his Instagram. He had those candles. Those
Yeah,
those church
those
we had, like,
prayer
Darth,
candles?
Yeah, prayer candles
Yeah.
and Darth Vader and like
yeah, he
like
was
Skywalker,
cool.
you know,
Yeah,
it
he was real
as
cool.
shit.
Everybody out there was really cool. I mean, we turned around
yeah.
and looked and like the body paint guy, just Joe.
Joe, yeah.
Like we turned around and like there's a chick just took a shirt off and like he's body painting. Like totally took me by surprise. I was like, oh. There's tits out. I was like, what kind of
My
party? What's
kind
going
of-
on?
What's going on here?
I love art.
Yeah, I love
Let's go to museum now.
I'm with you, baby.
No, but that was
Hate me.
I don't. You know what I found most interesting about that whole deal was when we were talking to the Brewheart Apparel lady, and
Yeah.
she was telling us a story about the Red Cougar
the Beer of H.
Brew of H.
Brew of H. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, so she was telling us the story about that shirt because I noticed it has a no label brewing label on the back of it, and I was asking her about it because I didn't know anything about
It's
it.
a Katy Brewery, right?
Yeah, it's out there in Katy off of First Street. And so she was telling us that she made that shirt, that Brew of Eight shirt. It's like the cougar paw holding a beer bottle. And No Label a couple of years ago liked it, and they did their First Street Blonde. They dyed it red
Okay.
and made a beer called Brew of H with her permission. And then it was such a hit that they were like, let's just do a custom beer and call it Brew of H. And she's a brewer also.
Right.
So she went up there and they made I think it's an IPA. And they made that beer, the Brew of H, and they sell
awesome.
it at TDECU Stadium
Yeah.
at all the U of H games. They have a big tent and everything.
Nice.
All based off of her shirt design.
That's
really
awesome.
cool.
That is awesome.
That was pretty cool. And she was cool too. She was, I mean, one of the few people that was like willing to talk a whole bunch about everything,
Right, right.
and you know, like, I was just there. Steven had gotten some really good talent out there. I was really impressed with the
Absolutely.
talent he was able to pull out there. So, hopefully, we'll get to do something out there at Ingenious.
Oh yeah, again.
When it gets cold and it's not so hot, and I can really enjoy that
And not get a
Imperial
sunburn?
Samoa.
Not get
Yeah, and
sunburned?
not get sunburned. So they have a
Oh,
beer called the
yeah.
Imperial Samoa, and it's a stout. It's an
Yeah.
Imperial stout that tastes like a Girl Scout Samoa cookie,
Really?
like coconut and caramel
Nice.
and chocolate. Oh, it's delicious.
I forgot that one I bought. It was
that's
like
my favorite
blueberry
type of beer
crumble or
stout.
something. That shit was good too.
Which
No, the we didn't have the blueberry crumble.
No,
that
he
was
bought
one of
one.
the cans.
I
He
bought
Oh,
bought
you
it.
bought one.
It
Oh,
sounds
okay.
Oh,
It sounded
wow, that
good.
sounds delicious.
Yeah,
They have
it
a lot
is.
of sours and a lot
And
of
they got
IPAs
like they
out
got
there.
the what's it
What
called?
was it, brown
the
forest
tops?
something?
Oh, that was the French toast
French
brown.
toast. The
It,
brown
had,
toast.
it was like
Like-
maple syrup.
But
Oh.
I didn't.
Like a brown ale?
Yeah.
Or, oh,
I didn't do
wow.
it, but Taylor did. Where you add that little.
Oh yeah, the
frosting.
frozen beer.
Yeah, it tastes fucking
beer?
good.
Yeah, so
Like
they
an
have.
It looks like
something?
ice cream.
Yeah,
like,
well, what they do is they have they take some of their lighter beers and they put it in a margarita machine, and then like you order a beer and they're like for an extra $1 or whatever you get a frozen beer topper and they put it on top of your beer,
Yeah.
and it just keeps it colder longer. As it melts,
Yeah.
it's not water
But
or
it
anything.
Tastes good though.
Yeah, and they have it flavored. There's like vanilla flavor
Yeah,
and
badass.
it's
stuff
like
like
almost
that.
like ice cream.
Sounds very
You said
Yeah,
kids are the
Yeah.
only ones supposed to
They're
have
cool.
fun.
They're cool. I like their innovative ideas that they got in that
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
It's awesome.
Have you guys been to Eighth Wonder?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
yeah. I love
I-
that place too.
That's
Place
my
fucking
my
huge.
favorite brewery, as in the actual building.
Yeah, they have a
It's
great.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they have a
Like,
great.
I love
so
their
fun.
backyard.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
their backyard when you can
Yeah,
walk
yeah.
around
A
in
lot
that
of
shit.
fun.
I like
A lot of
that.
shit.
We
going
now
on.
that it's cool outside, we should go over to Brash Brewing and do something.
Yeah,
we should,
okay.
contact
Where's
them.
that
Down
at?
the street from me.
Yeah, down
Yeah.
the street from me.
It's,
Yeah.
it's
That's
off
right
of
over by-
Shepherd and 43rd. Yeah.
Yeah, it's they've got some old school video game
Shepherd
arcade
and
games and
43rd?
shit
Yeah.
in there.
Oh,
It's pretty cool.
interesting.
It's right behind that car wash that's there, like in that weird.
Working at
Oh
the
yeah,
car
I know
wash.
what you're talking about.
And all their beer is so intense, which I love.
I thought you were going to say like it's right next to a tire shop because I think every other store or
Liquor
front
store,
tire
Shepherd.
shop on Shepherd.
Fucking tire shop or
Liquor store,
scrapyard.
gun store, liquor store, gun store.
Yes.
All right, any other current events we got going on?
Okay, so
Mighty Bulger died October 30th.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He
Got
got
it.
it. He got
got his
Got it
come up.
coming, baby.
got his come up and
Coming in his face, right?
This
That
probably
would've
wasn't the
fucked up
first time.
if they
if I had
jerked
to
off
guess.
his
What was
face.
that? What was that Dr. Seuss book? If it was proposed for Whitey Bulger, socks and padlocks.
Yeah,
Padlocks-
Once there was a man
padlocks
named
and
Bulger.
socks.
He got his face smashed with a sock full of.
Folger.
Just
no.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah,
That's why we need a
lose.
soundboard right
Get
there.
outta here.
Soundboard.
That's fine.
But yeah, apparently he got beat with a sock full of padlocks, and I guess his tongue was attempted to be ripped out.
What? I didn't hear that.
You don't need this right now.
Trust me, you ain't ever gonna need
guess
this
he,
again.
I guess he talked a lot, I guess,
Someone
right?
wanted him
Rat
dead.
his
Well,
fucking
yeah, he
mouth.
was a rat.
Yeah,
He
exactly,
was
Yeah.
a rat.
yeah.
That would make
He
sense
fucked over
to rip
so
his
many
tongue
families.
out. He runs fucking flat, running his fucking mouth.
Yeah.
So
Take it out.
in case anybody
Proven
doesn't
him
know,
blindfolded,
Whitey,
man, and whatnot.
yeah,
Okay,
Whitey,
yeah, let's
Whitey
give a
Bulger,
background.
Whitey Bulger. I don't know anything. I can't remember like the actual details, but there's a whole movie. Johnny Depp plays him in Black Mass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the Departed
Yeah.
is kind of
It's based on-
Yeah,
loosely
based
based
on-
off
yeah,
based
yeah.
off of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you check those out, you know, I mean they're kind of he was a double agent for the fucking FBI against the family, you know, the other people that he was in business against
Yeah.
and,
Yep.
Right.
and
Protecting
organized
his former
crime,
rat.
and yeah, he was a rat. Got,
Snitches.
snitches get stitches.
Yeah.
He was like Big Pussy from Sopranos, right?
I never watched Sopranos.
You never watched Sopranos?
Nah,
Does
I
he always
didn't
wear
know
wife beaters or what?
I was
You
too
know what I'm
poor
talking
when
about?
that when,
I know what you're
when
talking about,
Sopranos was
yeah.
out, dude. I was too poor to afford, you know.
Well, get Hulu. You can
I've
watch
seen
it
a lot
now.
of-
No, wait.
I've
With
seen
HBO.
I've got
HBO,
some
Episodes
sorry.
I got
off and
HBO
on.
also.
So that's why
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
That's how
Like,
you made it.
What's
I
his name?
got
Killing
HBO.
his
Yeah, now I
fucking
got
sponsor.
HBO.
What the fuck, dog?
and stars.
And stars. Comes with it.
Christopher. You're the sponsor.
Shit was free.
This fucking parade.
All right,
film.
what else?
No, so current events
Okay,
before we have
current
a wolf
events.
debate.
Okay, I have It Chapter 2. The filming is in wraps, so it's done.
Is that a part 2 of it?
Yeah, the part.
Well, yeah, it's the
chapter
grown-up
2,
part
yeah,
now.
the grown up part now.
Oh, no shit. I didn't
Now
know that.
They shot the
it also-
movies like they did the miniseries.
Yeah. So what's it called? Bill Hader says that the sequel is surprisingly emotional. So
Well, fear is an emotion, so
well, I'm just
Yeah, I
what it
guess it could
goes
just
to.
be
He
scary,
meant
I
more
guess.
like it's like more like
Sad.
sad, like emotional because it's not.
you're gonna get an emotional connection to that fucking clown.
Well, no, it's not. I guess
sad.
no, it's just the
Sentimental.
friendship.
Feelings, man.
Remember,
Sad
if it's like the original, they come back together.
Yeah,
because they
that's
spend time apart, and now they're
well,
back
yeah,
together.
and the clown ruined their fucking lives, basically.
exactly. So yeah,
There's nothing funny about
Because I remember,
Yeah.
'cause I
There's
remember
nothing
the
funny
original-
about clowns.
The original, fuck that. Yeah, I don't like clowns. I don't like clowns whatsoever.
Do y'all remember
Yeah.
Bozo the Clown growing
Yeah.
up?
Don't
Yeah.
fucking,
The
yeah.
commercials later on that on Fox scared the fuck out of
Bozo the
me.
Clown.
I'm surprised that was.
And,
Yeah.
Such
man.
a weird time
Yeah.
we grew up in.
Weird.
Yeah.
That
kids, man.
shit like that would never fly today. Nobody would
Fuck
ever
no.
watch
Oh,
that.
like Lord Zed from Power Rangers with the pulsating brain.
Lord Zed.
Yeah.
Nasty. Fuck.
All right, into the depths of the Skinwalker Ranch.
Skinwalker.
All right, so I don't remember where we left off, but I actually watched George Knapp's speech that he did after we
Mr.
did
Knapp.
that he did on Skinwalker
Slam
Ranch
some
and
heroin.
about that whole that documentary, The Hunt for the Skinwalker. I didn't watch The Hunt for the Skinwalker, but I watched George Knapp give a speech about it, and he showed some actual clips and things like that. So, what the fuck are you doing?
Don't worry about it. Just keep going with your story.
There's a fly on.
I'm trying to get. We're trying to be all looking at you.
All right.
Shut the fuck up. No, go on. Go on,
anyway,
Rob.
so-
Go on,
segment
Rob.
just
Yeah,
got
go on,
emotional.
Rob.
Anyway,
He has
yeah, this is an emotion.
He doesn't remember the
Frustration is an
password.
emotion also.
He's trying to, reboot his password to Pornhub. So it's important, guys. All right.
Yeah.
God damn, he's serious on he's got a password.
Let's go.
Let's pause the show.
So I watched George Knapp. George Knapp does Coast to Coast, right?
Right, yes.
Yeah.
So he was talking about it, and he's like, "I'm not gonna be here. I'm not gonna try to convince you. I'm just gonna state facts. The facts that we've learned, the facts that we've got.
We don't know shit.
Man, we ain't found
He brings everybody together just to tell them that, right? What a fucking waste.
So I learned a bunch of stuff watching George Knapp talk about it, like kind of state the facts of everything that happened. Is that the video that you watched last time? Because that's the first time that I heard that they were talking about the machinery that the Sherman family could hear underneath
I've
the
watched
ground
two
and
videos,
things.
but it didn't involve George Knapp. But the documentary I saw with George Knapp was the one that came out this year called "The Hunt for Skinwalker Ranch."
Yeah.
or "The Hunt for Skinwalker."
The Hunt
I'm
for the
sorry.
Skinwalker.
Yeah, that one, and George Knapp was in there, and they did talk about that.
Yeah, he was so in the video I watched was him giving a speech about the hunt, about the documentary, and about Skinwalker Ranch, just kind of stating some facts and things like that. So this gave a little bit more detailed description of some of the events, especially what I thought was one of the more definitive events. The thing was the calf mutilation. You remember we talked about the calf mutilation. So the way that he describes it is they're going out into their pasture, and they're in the pasture in the video, so you can see how far they have to go,
Right.
and everything. So they're going out there to tag a couple of newborn calves that were born in the previous days. Okay, so
Right.
he's a Black Angus, cattle rancher. So they go out there, they find the first calf, they tag the first calf. No big deal. The calf was kind of acting, and the mother were kind of acting a little skittish, and they said. That's when you were brought up. Remember, they had said they smelled like a kind of chemical smell in the air.
yeah, yeah.
And then they went down over this ridge to find this other calf where the rest of the herd was. And as they were crossing the ridge, they heard some commotion from back where they were. So they finished tagging that calf, and they went back, and they saw the mother was running around in like a circle, kind of back and forth, really agitated, and the calf was nowhere to be found. And then they found the calf just a few feet away from her, and it was spread like spready like face face down, whatever. All of the internal organs, everything inside of it was missing. Wow. No blood. What is that? Is that your phone?
No, not mine.
Bullshit.
I swear it's not mine.
Anyway, so they found no blood anywhere, and so one of the skeptics was like, "Well, maybe the blood, absorbed into the ground. That's why you didn't see it." So they did an experiment. They poured a bunch of blood on the ground and timed how long it took for it to soak into the soil.
Forever,
it's gonna take
probably
a long
forever.
time.
So
Is this part of like the time shift, like freezing time?
yeah. So when they went back and looked,
Definitely, that's
One
what
of the
came
cow's ears was severed so cleanly it had to have been done with an instrument of like a scalpel, and it was the ear that they had put the tag on.
Okay, yeah.
And so they had there was nothing of this cow except like remnants of the carcass left. No blood.
What if it's just
nothing.
a butcher trying to get some training? For free?
So the timeline they're talking about this is 40 minutes. 40 minutes from when they left that calf to the time they got back.
And all the blood was gone.
No blood.
See that
no
would not
tracks.
happen.
Yeah.
It's almost like it was butchered somewhere and then placed down. Where it was.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I kind of offered my theory last time, because the amount of time when all these events happen, it's like there's no fucking way it happens so quick. So it feels like whoever this thing is or whatever it is, like they have the ability to maybe like freeze time or take it to somewhere and then and they just bring it back. It's like it's within how long, and then it's just take their time because it's frozen or slowed down. I don't know, some shit. It's a weird, far-fetched theory, but I can't think of anything else.
Well, I mean, how else would you explain some of the shit that's happening?
Well, I'll tell you how it happened. No, just kidding.
The cattle mutilations are kind of a weird thing because some of them, like, they find the cow dead, and like the only thing on them is a hole in their eye, and the entire cow is hollowed out.
Really?
Like nothing there. Some of them they find like through the anal cavity.
Right. I heard about that one.
And like the whole cow is just hollow.
Hollow, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's the weirdest fucking thing.
It's crazy.
What's
the temperature
it's
during this time?
It's breeding season for cattle. I mean, we're talking. It was cold because there was snow on the ground.
Right. Okay.
So I'm thinking probably January, February, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest thing that they were talking about was that like Skinwalker Ranch, the road that leads past. George Knapp kind of explains that there's 3 homesteads.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's the main house, and then there's 2 other homesteads on that road. And he talks about like when he went there, they did some shit that they knew had provoked a response, and they just left him in this abandoned homestead in a chair, hoping that something would happen. And he was like, "Well, nothing happened to him." But so what they had postulated is that every time they fucked with the ground, like dug into the ground, because they had built these after the Sherman family sold to Bob Bigelow, they had built these, and they're still there. They built these like guard towers, is basically what they look like.
Yeah,
with a dog run out in a chain link fence, kind of outside of it. So they had dogs running, and then those scientists would be out there in like 12-hour shifts. You know what I mean? Like just videoing everything, and nothing ever happened to anybody except when they dug in the ground. Like some things would happen,
which are
it was always when the Sherman family was there.
Site,
it always seemed to revolve around.
They would hear stuff
Terry
underneath
Sherman.
them, right?
Yeah, and so like
Paul did bring that shit up.
Yeah, and they had said that they had experienced things like that, and then like what do you call it? Like the real estate contract had stipulated that they don't dig in the ground.
Right. Yes.
So what I found severely interesting about that, I was like, why don't y'all go talk to the people? Like, where did this ranch come from? You know what I mean? That's the first thing that pops into my mind. Like, who lived there before? Like, why was the house so odd? The house was like deadbolts on both sides of the doors, deadbolts on the windows. You know what I mean? Like that's very odd. So George Knapp and Coast to Coast, they found the previous owners, and they declined. Number one, they declined to be they
No, right?
they
had so
declined
many
to
dead
be
boats that they're not gonna
interviewed.
wanna talk to
Right.
you.
They declined to be identified,
with this.
but they also said that nothing weird ever happened to them while they owned that ranch.
Yeah, okay.
They say it all started so if you believe that,
Once they
everything
left.
started once Terry Sherman.
Well, that's just to
On that
that's just to
pl-
throw
that
that the psychosis of someone going crazy on someone else besides them, right?
That's true. Like, no,
Okay.
nothing's wrong,
You're
but
wrong, but
Yeah.
you guys can have it.
yeah, exactly. You know?
Yeah, I mean, but at that point, they had told him, like, Bob Bigelow's bought this ranch. Like, this is not coming back on you. There's no, like, repercussions for this or anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I just don't understand, like, what would be, if there was something there that was happening to them, why not share it at that point? Now it's become almost national news. So what the issue that they were having for the most part is that you were getting people sneaking onto the ranch because the road that ran in between the three homesteads was a public road.
Okay.
What you would see like as the gate into the ranch, that's actually a public road, and the property is split on both sides of this road.
Okay.
So when the investor that bought it from Bob Bigelow started his research on that property, he petitioned the county. He put up a gate at the front of that road, an armed guard fucking gate. And he's like, no, I don't care. Like, and he started the proceedings and laws to get the law changed to make that into a private road because he didn't want people on the ranch in fear that something would happen to them of all the weird things that had happened out there.
So the reason why he put that was he didn't want people on the ranch in fear of something happened to them, or what?
That's what it sounds like. Yeah,
But,
yeah.
or is it because
protection
So,
from them?
Like, he didn't want to be liable for anything.
Yeah, like
okay.
if
Protection for
some
them
drunk
as
teenagers
well.
went out there and got fucking mutilated,
Yeah.
or something happened like
don't-
on his property, like he didn't want
Makes
to be
sense.
liable for
Makes
that
sense,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
of all the
Well,
things
I
that
don't-
have been documented, and
Yeah.
and the things that have been documented were not like. They may not have had pictures or videos of a lot of that stuff, but like when all these things happen, like you listen to Terry Sherman talk about it, it's like this guy just wanted to live his fucking life. Like wasn't looking for attention or anything like that. Like all this shit just happened, and he was like, "This is what happened." Like I can't explain it. I don't want to speculate. He's a smart guy. He's college educated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? His wife was college educated. But by the time this all happened, like she had lost her job and like all these other things that happened.
right.
Go and say it, Raph. Come on. break up the seriousness so you laugh like you got
Women
something's
can be
going on.
educated. Is that what you're saying?
I want to laugh because this is when y'all guys were going on a heated debate or whatnot. Fucking you told Jake, Rob told Jake the fucking. You telling me that a college educated man doesn't know between the difference between a wolf?
Oh yeah.
What if you didn't know it was a wolf? Are you telling me? I was like, oh god, that's fucking hilarious, man. It's just part of the way y'all guys were bantering back at each other, man.
We got
Too,
hung up
baby.
on that wolf thing.
That was so funny though.
But
man.
that
I
was
loved it.
that was the first big weird
Right.
thing that happened on
Right.
that
Yeah.
ranch,
Yeah.
That's
and that's
true.
the most unexplained thing. The most people
Which
witnessed
was-
that at the
which
same
is
time.
What,
Yeah.
the wolf.
The
Yeah,
wolf,
the
yeah,
wolf
when
that
they got
showed up.
shot.
Skinwalker,
Yeah,
yeah.
got shot several times and fucking didn't go down.
And
Correct use of it.
And they,
Several times.
Yeah, but if you only use a silver bullet,
Yeah,
There
that's
you go.
true. They
Can't-
into that shit.
can't kill a werewolf.
Don't they know their folklore?
Jesus.
Well,
They
I
weren't
mean,
thinking that
morons.
far. They
it
weren't
was a-
thinking that far.
I mean, they use a 30-06 and a 357 Magnum. I mean,
Yeah.
you figure that would put down anything, but
Totally
they weren't
silly.
thinking about the silver bullet.
Or-
These are
should have
Yeah.
had some Coors Lights. You've been all right.
But you're drinking that
So-
triple hop.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, triple hop brewed, man. This is a
Triple-
fine Pilsner beer.
right?
Fine.
Triple
Pilsner
hop,
beer.
3 hops,
Three
individual
three
hops.
individual hops.
Because it's so hoppy. Jesus.
So, Randy, what's your take on Skinwalker Ranch, and like, what do you
Yeah,
know
what-
about it?
No, I mean,
your opinion?
I just know the general stuff. But I just think it could be a number of things. You know, I mean, it could be part of the military. It could be like the family making it up. It could be an actual paranormal event. It could be a lot of things. You know.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I don't think it's ever gonna be solved.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
I mean,
because-
the research I looked into it, and like everything that happens, like I said this on the last episode, but every occurrence it's its own unique like episode,
Yeah.
and nothing repeats. So for them to study it, it's hard for them to apply a scientific method because nothing repeats more. It just happens once.
Yeah, and that's what they were
And
saying. Like everything.
That's fucking
Everything
blows my
was
mind.
like, Terry Sherman was under the impression that he thought the government was spying on him. For a long time, because things he would talk about, like they would like start getting fucked with around the house. Like you were talking about with the bulls thing. You know what I mean? Like they left and they came back and those two huge bulls were locked in that small ass shed,
Yeah.
And it was still
Jacob was
locked,
talking
right?
and it was
Yeah,
still
but-
locked from the outside, and they were in some kind of a trance or something because
Yeah.
once they came to, they kicked the fucking wall down to get out of there.
Yeah,
Right. Yes.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It's like,
I blame the beer that they were drinking.
yeah, and it seems
Bulls
like it's
that were-
The
don't
bulls
know,
were
right?
drinking the beers.
what I like
Fucking drunk as
about.
fuck.
What I like about this particular topic is it seems it's. I'm very skeptical, and I got to be open minded at the same time, but you got to really look at it from all angles. Like I said, with this particular subject, it seems it's hard to not you could throw out far-fetched fears as to what it is, what it's going on, but either way, just the evidence and the facts of what the occurrences that have been happening is just it's strange. Like that's you can't
Yeah.
argue with that. It's
He didn't say anything about having any encounters with actual beings or anything like that.
Yeah.
And it's very like the way they describe it is it could be aliens, it could be paranormal, it could be but apparently this has been like because of its like location close to like where it is in reference to Las Vegas, and apparently Las Vegas is a big hot spot for UFO and paranormal activity.
That's just because everyone's fucked up.
that's pretty simple
And Rachel,
explanation.
Rachel Nevada's not
Everybody's
that far from
fucked
there.
up.
either.
Drugs. Is everyone?
Well,
on?
if anything, what you were referring to would be because Area 51 is like
Rachel
150,
Nevada's
60
like right
miles
there,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
away.
Dreamland or
Yeah.
what was it called?
Dreamland? Is that a coast to coast thing or?
No.
Groom Lake.
Groom
Damn,
Lake.
Groom Lake.
So-
Lake.
yeah.
Where did you go to school?
You go to school? So
But you're them.
this-
You would think that you'd be ripped off. You feel ripped off if you didn't get a chance to see it in ET or anything like that.
Yeah. You're like,
Well,
oh, no?
so
that
this
ranch.
this is kind of an interesting transition because I talked to Paul about this. Well, Paul chimed in on it, but we kind of all talked about it. But that when I was finishing up that interview, speech that George Knapp gave about Skinwalker Ranch, that kind of led me into this Netflix documentary called Extraordinary. And I sent it to Paul. This is the first I had seen of it. So I watched this Netflix documentary about this guy that started documenting all his UFO encounters and shit like that.
Okay.
And so I watched the documentary, never having heard any background on this at all.
Is this the
and I was
fake
like,
shit?
this. I was like,
That
this is
fucking
pretty.
loser.
I was like, this is pretty interesting.
Okay,
And then
okay.
Paul's
I
like,
saw
fake
half-
as fuck.
half an
Paul's
episode
like,
of that, and I'm
this
like,
shit is fake as fuck.
He's a phony, man.
Yeah,
Stan
dude.
Romanek is a fraud.
Yeah, he is.
He's a fucking
That's fine.
fraud.
See, I don't like people like what the fuck, like
He's
Billy.
throwing fucking paper clips. What the hell was that?
Yeah,
Oh,
dude,
see, this
dude,
is the
on the
activity I'm
YouTube
talking
video.
about.
On the YouTube video
I
we
think it's more
watched.
like a satire.
Have you
don't
seen?
You think?
Have you seen
No,
that?
because in the documentary, like he talks like it,
legit.
like it's legit.
Well, no
like
shit,
Yeah,
it's
he's got a
satire,
book
but-
out too.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like Spinal Tap.
he talks about
They're
Yeah.
very serious,
Yeah.
but it's
no,
not-
yeah, but
Nice.
Spinal Tap, it's ridiculous
he took
enough.
the
where,
child
like,
pornography
anyhow,
thing too far though. But yeah,
But this too, though,
so like
There's
he
a-
talks
because
about
I've seen like half of it, and it was way too out
it's
there. Like,
it
was
his
obviously
his
fake.
his
Yeah.
yeah, like his videos of the alien. I'm like, this is fucking stupid.
Well,
But,
obvious-
like
yeah,
that,
'cause
like,
it's-
but like if you discount, like I feel like watching it.
Okay, but we're,
well, just to
Like
clear
I
up
feel
what-
like watching it, like maybe maybe something happened at some point, And then he liked the attention that he got from it, so he started faking more stuff later.
Yeah.
Because his first encounter that they talk about,
Something
there was
about an implant or something.
there was
right?
multiple
Yeah.
people around that saw it. Like he pulled off the side of the road, and there was multiple people there.
Yeah.
So like that's where it started, and then he started
just
documenting
doing his
everything.
own things.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
But
saw.
then-
Oh, by the
It was
way,
me and
I know
you.
I said it, but we're talking about Stan Romanek. Look him up. He's a fucking fraud.
He's a fraud.
He's a straight fraud.
Yeah, me and
But
Paul
I
watched
s-
the YouTube videos.
Yeah,
where
that's
he
right.
fucking faked the
It's
shit
fake.
out of his
It's
fucking.
fake.
He throws a paperclip behind his back so that it can land like in front of him, and he goes, "Did y'all see that?" And
Yeah,
you can clearly
he
see
does
his
it
fucking
several
hand.
times. He
Yeah,
does it
you
more
can
than
see-
once.
You can clearly see his fucking elbow go up.
Yeah.
upwards.
Yeah, he's
But what
a
I'm trying to
fucking
say- but
fraud.
what I'm trying to say
Yeah,
is,
man.
do you think that he's doing this to get attention and
Oh,
he's trying
yeah.
to be real?
Yeah.
Or do you think he's
Yeah.
trying to be funny?
Well,
No,
I
he's
think
trying to do
it's
it to
just-
be
it's-
real.
it's-
Really?
Yeah, he wants.
It's not-
But-
he wants
Because
money for his
attention
shit.
seeking
edit
as
that
well.
out
It's
where
attention
you can see
seeking as
his
well.
hand?
No,
What
because
happened?
so his whole deal is like a few years ago after all this, like he's been documented, and he's like, people, they discount me, they tell me I'm a fraud and all this stuff, blah 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 blah, and then all of a sudden he gets busted for child porn.
Oh,
You know
yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
true. Yeah.
So now I'm not saying here's the thing, like y'all are like he's a fraud. Like I'm gonna play the opposite side of it and be the skeptic against the fraud.
You're going
Like
down.
let's just say like what I'm not saying that like
just playing,
I'm not
I'm just
saying
playing,
that
I'm
he
fucking-
didn't
I'm
fake the
fucking with you.
paperclip video. You know what I mean? Because it seems like the psychosis of this guy is that maybe like there was something going on and he tried to just embellish it more and more and more and more and more.
And then he's
Yeah.
just
But
stuck in
and then
that.
he got stuck in that. But I almost believe that he did see something and did
In the beginning?
and yeah, in the beginning, and maybe a
Okay.
couple of more times at some point, because there's some things and some stories that he has evidence of that you're like, I don't know, man. Like that. Like I
It's
feel like he
fucking-
embellished it enough.
Yeah.
But
How old is
I
this
seen
video?
I seen videos where
how
him
old is
like
he?
showing
Oh,
an
shit.
alien popping against the window. I was like, that is
Yeah, yeah.
so fucking
Well, how-
fake.
yeah, that's the
2016?
stuff that's fake.
What,
Yeah,
how old
that-
is he saying that these events happen?
Maybe
The first one started in like
90s, I think.
93,
Yeah.
94.
Early
Yeah.
90s.
So like, and
Think about it. If you're in a situation to where maybe you did see something and you're telling people and people are not like believing you,
well, he
it
was,
kind of takes a toll on you. Like, am I fucking like imagining this shit or am I not? And you're doing your best to prove it to them.
And then to
now you're taking
justify that feeling,
exactly.
you create stuff,
shit.
so, yeah.
And it's just like you probably don't mean to do it, and you're just trying to get the actual truth.
well,
Not
some of the stuff that he went through, like
But
he went through like these.
can't do that though.
He
Well, no,
he went
no,
through he
That's-
went through
that's
hypnotherapy.
being a fraud like
look,
either
Ra-
way.
Randy, Randy can kind of speak. I'm
They probably
hoping Randy
lost,
can
though.
kind
If
of
you
speak to
believe
this a
in
little.
something,
Okay,
you want
yeah.
to.
Randy's
Let me
like,
ask you
no, no,
something,
no.
Randy.
Hold
Let
on,
me ask
hold
you
on,
something,
hold on.
Randy.
Hold on. Let me
Okay.
finish my
Okay.
thought.
Okay.
All right, hold on.
All hell, Rob.
Where's Paul's mute button?
Go on, sir.
Well, I'm curious about this. So, in that documentary, one of the things that they do is bring up these regressed memories. They do hypnotherapy and
Right,
stuff.
right.
Yeah.
So, Randy, you have a degree in psychology.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
I don't
like,
know shit.
how
Where'd you graduate
How-
from?
well
UVH, baby.
Get you denounced. Get that shit removed, taken away from you.
Can you say that you're not?
How many lives have
We
you
don't want-
fucked
we don't-
up
we don't
so
wanna be-
far? I'm just fucking.
I know, right?
so
well, go on,
how
go on.
how factual is something like regress memories, and like is that something
From-
that can be faked
from what-
from a hypnotherapy
Yes,
standpoint?
yes, because you being in that state, you can be very easily influenced. So there's a thing called like false memories too. So it's like it's fantasy, and it's fantasies that you had as a little kid, and they just can't kind of. They're in a blurred line where you think it was reality, but it's not. So I mean, it's not 100%. You know, like it's not always true.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Stanley talks about one of the things that, like, barring all of the, like in that documentary, barring all of the actual like alien encounters on video and shit, because that shit's all fake. Like I looked at it, it's garp. There's a video he has of this alien peeking through his screen,
that's what I was
and it's
talking
just
about. That's
standing
fucking
there.
terrible. Yeah,
It's just standing there. It
It's
doesn't
horrible.
even
Well,
move. It's terrible. But
know-
anyway, but one of the interesting things to me was the story that he has, and this may be just like an interesting way to cover up an affair with his wife.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But like
More probable.
he talks about for a long time, like the aliens are like
She was an
made
illegal
him
alien.
made him.
That's a really branched off.
So it wasn't a lie. It wasn't a lie.
That's awesome.
He talks about the aliens like making him mate with this woman and like a kid, him having
didn't
a
hear this
kid
part.
and things like that, and like at some point in time, like he's doing all the you know like the alien con circuit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like this woman, like he said he's in a room with this woman, like never met her before in his life. And like they just have this connection. He's like, and they start talking. You know what I mean? And like they have all
her
these
name was
memories.
Maria.
They have all these memories of different things together. And then you
How
know
much
like
did he
that's
pay?
Damn.
So they just found love? Is that what you're getting
no.
at? I don't-
That's
Because
awesome.
he's still married to his wife. He's like, I don't love this woman,
Oh.
but we have all the same like memories of these things that she thought were dreams, but they're not. You know,
Get away with
this is
Like,
that's
babe, I thought I was dreaming.
that's pretty.
Sorry.
That's fucking
I'm
awesome.
never gonna take Ambien ever again.
You're like, I thought I was dreaming. Like, you fucked her 12 times. How many dreams
I
did
have
you
a lot of
fucking have?
Babe, if you would have smoked the grass I smoked,
You'd have thought it was a dream too, man.
What? Another thing.
Those aliens.
Life is but a dream.
Stan Roman has a book as well, and a buddy of mine, he's the one that told me about it because he read the book. I forgot what it was called, but I do remember something in the book he told me about. Supposedly, I think the aliens would visit him periodically, and they would take him to a ship, and what's it called? This one, I guess I don't know who he's like maybe reports to or. This Stan Romanek, that is, I think, was claiming they would visit him every so often, and they would take him into a ship, and they said they had a present for him, and it was a
dick in the box.
I know.
no, it was like it was in a metal. It was in a metal. It was in a metal square,
dildo.
Happy
square
birthday.
rectangular. I don't know, maybe like a 12 by fucking 6. I don't know, box, right?
Yeah.
And they
Like a
and he's
pair of
like,
shoes?
He's like, what is it?
Good for him.
They, he's like, what is it? And
You'll find out,
I guess they tell him like, well, open it. He opens it. It's this nasty, disgusting black tar,
Oh.
just goo. And they're like,
Yeah.
he's like, what is that? It's like, that's the tar removed from your lungs from you smoking all your life.
Oh wow.
You're welcome, basically.
Like
Like,
Constantine.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
well, there was so that's
Yes,
that was
No,
so there was
you got it.
You're mine. Takes out
that
the-
is the best depiction of
Yes,
Satan
yes.
ever.
No.
Yes,
Oh,
I
dude,
agree.
Dude.
I
We're
agree.
going to scenes
I
right here
agree.
when he fucking when Keanu Reeves
You're-
tells us
hold on,
like,
well-
how's your family? Oh, busy. Oh, I love that part.
Great fucking movie. And,
Yeah.
okay, back to Stanley Romanek.
Yeah.
So that's not the only other thing. They don't talk about that in the documentary, but what they do talk about is him falling off of his house and hurting his knee. So
Can I do a wrestling match?
he goes to the doctor. Now here's this is probably one of the only pieces of evidence that really can't be explained. So this is what he talks about. He goes to he falls off a ladder, cleaning the gutters of his house or something.
Ladder match.
Why is that funny?
That's not funny. That's
WWE.
He's a fraud
Until you,
and a pedophile, probably.
until you
So,
followed
hold
up
on,
the
hold
ladder,
on,
you would think
He had a
something
ladder
different.
match with
He
Razor
goes-
Ramon.
Please, someone raise your edges.
Razor
Yeah, I'm
Edge.
listening to you, Rob. I'm
All
listening
right.
to you.
Yes,
Go on,
yes,
go
yes,
on.
I am.
Rob, yeah.
He goes.
I am.
He goes to the ER.
Okay.
He goes to the ER. He has an X-ray. They're like, your ACL is torn.
Oh,
It's like, okay,
Fucking pussy.
here's
fucking loser.
Ultra Cliff. I'm sorry.
so you're under arrest.
Okay.
right.
He got his,
He's got a torn ACL.
okay,
Okay.
torn ACL.
They give him a knee brace.
Oh my god.
Okay. He's falling off.
Wait, they gave him a torn ACL?
No,
No,
they gave him a
he got a torn ACL.
They gave him a knee brace, you piece of shit.
Jesus
God.
Christ, son.
I'm intrigued. Please continue.
So the next day, he wakes up after an alien abduction, obviously, and he can't find his knee brace. He finds the knee brace like melted and charred on the side of the house.
Cheap fucks. That's what they gave him.
But hold
Okay.
on, it's the ER. Have you ever had given a knee brace in the ER? They're cheap as fuck. All right, so they go. He goes. He notices like he has documentation like these pictures of these basically like crop circles in his fucking yard. All right, don't just.
He's an artist.
Go on.
He's already made up his mind. That's
Okay,
fine.
go on. I'm
I
listening.
mean, you're very close-minded. That's okay.
No, I'm not.
You are, but
Just laughing.
you're not laughing. It's okay though.
Ralph left us.
So
This-
at
He
Was a
done.
fat fuck.
so anyway, he notices that he's walking just fine. You know,
Yes.
he gets out of bed, whatever. So he goes back to because obviously his knee brace is missing. So he goes to the doctor, and they're like, "Oh, your ACL's not torn."
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that on
So
that documentary
I
video.
mean, but that's like one of those things. It's like you go to ER, they do an X-ray, they see a torn ACL,
But
they
how-
do
how
another
do we know
one the
that that's
next
true,
day.
But does he have the record?
He said
for
he
that?
has
the
documents?
records.
Oh, he does
He
have
has
records.
documentation.
Okay.
of it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you can doctor any doctor.
Yeah, actually, there is.
But that's what I'm-
Wasn't there other episodes he had where physically, so he got something fucked up and then miraculously
This is the only one that I heard about.
Okay, I thought there was other ones. See, that could be like what you said. He takes
Malpractice.
so many possible things that could be leading to his narrative, and then he'll exaggerate and start adding more on it,
Yeah.
just to kind of maybe build evidence
It's
to
a
say all these
disease,
things
though.
happen to
It's
him.
a disease, like
Yeah.
he
Right,
wants
right.
all that attention.
Exactly,
Like
it's
yeah.
attention seeking. It's
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
is.
I know somebody like that.
So, I mean, there is a possibility that maybe he.
no, not you. No, I mean in general. I know
I was
somebody.
just waiting for that.
No,
back.
I
was
know
like,
somebody like
what?
that. Not you.
Yeah, I don't know where that.
They just stopped my fucking
Because
wall
it's the
right
truth.
there.
It's the truth. It is a disease, and I'm
Okay,
trying to
okay,
get at
okay.
So, are you saying that maybe he went to the ER and it was like a misdiagnosis, and that he just ran with it?
Yeah, maybe-
I'm
maybe-
walking.
Yeah, maybe,
I'm walking
maybe
fine.
it was-
possibly. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, I mean, he could have faked it. X-rays can be misread, especially by
Exactly.
ER radiology techs. I mean,
Yeah. Human error.
it's just
Yeah.
he's very delusional. If you ask
They
me,
in the documentary, they definitely don't show the X-ray.
Yeah, see.
Okay.
He just claims that the doctor said this, and then the next doctor said
well,
this.
that's hearsay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But
Bunch
that
of
right there,
bullshit.
if he had documentation, would be the strongest piece of documentation
Camera.
that he has. But he
It's
doesn't. He doesn't have that documentation. Like,
Right,
or if he
he's full
does,
of
they didn't
shit.
show it in the video. You
Or
know what I mean?
like there's so many people out there that are delusional. Just going to another person. There's a guy named Billy Meyer. He's from Switzerland, and he claimed that he was able to
He's so
summon
high.
these
He's
aliens.
crawling back to his chair.
Yeah,
Thinking
bruh.
he was very smooth and no one noticed.
Right?
I hate to interrupt you again, Jacob.
He was trying to do
Go
that
again.
You ever seen Entrapment? He was trying to do the Catherine Zeta-Jones ass.
He definitely got killed there.
You definitely hit the
He
laser
got
beams,
killed.
for sure.
The laser hit you.
To all you
Fucking-
walls.
You can't put
I was
ocean.
just trying not to fucking fuck up the camera view.
The
and,
lasers
crawl
gotcha.
my way over here. I'm thinking about the group.
No, but go back to that Billy Meyer guy. His ex-wife,
So
which
Billy
she
Meyer.
may be pissed off at him still. I don't know, but he said that she said that he would use trash can lids as flying saucers, and all the photography that he uses
She
is fake.
fucks.
Wait, who are we talking about?
No, I'm just making a point that there's a lot
Yeah.
of liars out
Yeah,
there.
There's
Right.
a lot of
Yeah.
frauds asking
Frauds,
for,
yeah.
for
Trash
attention.
can.
Just for attention, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how do I get my big break, and I'm thinking about joining that cult of doing.
You know how you
fake
get your
shit.
big break? You show your dick on film. That's how you get your big
Yeah,
break.
you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Do some fucking amateur porn on
Do
fucking
it.
Pornhub.
I'll do some joy. jerk off instruction videos.
Hell
You know what I'm talking about, Joy?
Step
yeah.
one.
Step one.
Are we
do
going
know
back
about
to
that
edging?
shit.
And there's only
the edges.
one
Yeah,
step.
sure.
The fucking edging.
I haven't edged in a while. I'm due for one or so.
Talking about
Hey, you brought it up. Someone brought about edging.
Yeah, Rob did.
I did on
Edging
accident.
and,
Yeah.
what other
Very
terms are there?
Build that stamina.
Oh yeah, baby. You know about that edge.
Is there mulching?
I don't
Like
need
it-
that. I don't need that. I don't need
I don't
any
need
more
it.
stamina.
So you got
Hey,
that shit's late at night. I'm getting mine and going to sleep. I don't need that shit to take longer.
fucking
Right.
old people.
shit,
Goddamn it.
yo.
Yeah, but there's plenty of those fucking frauds out there, and
Yeah.
I used to be really. I mean, I was very open minded, but not
Okay,
enough to be
so-
skeptical. Like
Well,
I
Paul and
almost
I
kind of
we
believed.
made a crop circle. We have it on film.
Yeah, that's what I was laughing about earlier
Oh, were you?
when he said crop circles. That's what I was thinking of, but I just didn't want to tell him.
Hold on.
baby.
Okay, so
But
let me ask you a question.
What?
If you think that Stanley Romanek is a fraud, is there anybody out there that has similar claims that you think is legit?
Travis Walton.
Travis Dozier?
Travis Walton.
Travis Walton.
Dozier.
Travis Walton.
I
Tell us some
I
background on
got
Travis
that.
Walton.
Travis Walton.
have you ever seen Fire in the Sky?
Snowflake, Arizona.
Yeah,
What about him?
Well, he actually got abducted. I think he was gone for 10 days.
Yeah.
They found him back in a phone booth. He actually called his best friend from a phone booth.
That sounds like a
up and-
mescaline trip.
That's what I was
No,
gonna say.
no, no,
I mean,
no.
he probably had a drug binge.
Exactly,
and
probably.
was like, it was-
However,
yeah.
Hold on,
yeah,
keep going, keep
that's
going.
very possible too. You're right
Keep
about
going,
that.
though.
But
Keep going.
yeah, go on.
But now, they had a government contract in Snowflake, Arizona, where they had to clear out all this whole forest or whatever.
Yeah.
They see a red light. I think I said this story multiple times on this damn
Yeah.
podcast, but whatever.
I've never heard this.
Well, they
sorry.
see
Go
this
on,
red
please.
light, and Travis Walton's like the crazy kook that we have, Raph. You know, he'll get out of the truck and he
This
looks at
isn't a forest too in Snowflake, Arizona. by
Right.
the
I would
way.
do that shit.
Yeah.
If I see something in the sky, I'm
So
going
he
towards
gets out.
it.
He gets out in the truck and he sees a ship and he looks at it, he gazes at it, and the ship shines a beam at him, and he gets like hypnotized and he starts floating and levitating in the
Yeah,
air.
not to mention also his crew was there and they witnessed
The
it.
crew witnessed it, and then they freaked out, and then he left them.
Yeah.
and they were freaking out like halfway back home. They were like, "Fuck, we can't leave him. We gotta go back." And when they went back, they couldn't find him.
He was gone.
Yeah,
He was gone.
So that
So he was gone for I believe it was like 10 days. And then
This sounds like Flight of the Navigator, by the way. Go
this
ahead.
is exactly what you said. I think last time. Whatever.
I don't know that
So
one.
what
Friday
happens
the
is
Navigator.
that the whole town is eyeing this crew like, you killed your best friend, you killed your crew member. Where's his body? And this and that. They go into the area. They can't find his body at all. He shows up 10 days later. They call his best friend Mike Rogers. They meet him up at a phone booth. Take him back home. Call the cops. Everyone's happy. However, Travis is still fucked up from what happened to him.
PTSD.
Exactly.
big time. Yeah,
And he talks about what happened, and they don't believe him, whatever. But then he has an episode during a gathering for him, like welcome
Yeah.
back home. He
Yeah.
has an
Yeah.
episode, and he freaks out in front of everybody, and they find him underneath. According to the movie, they find him underneath the table, and during the course of this, they take a lie detector test. The whole crew passed the lie detector test.
But him.
Which doesn't mean anything.
I'm just saying they
You
passed.
can fool a lie detector. If you believe yourself,
But
you can
you
pass a
gotta
lie
understand
detector.
the
just-
situation. If you
I
got
was
you got to understand the
learning about that
situation.
recently.
Why would they want to lie on the polygraph test?
I'm just
You know, but-
playing. I'm
you see,
just
you know-
playing the wolves came
There
from
you
the
go.
bottom.
There you
know,
go.
but
I like
see-
it. And that's fair enough.
but here's the thing though.
Gets his revenge.
the wolves came from
Here's the thing though. But here's the thing though.
I get it. I get
The crew, every single one of them passed.
Exactly.
If you for all of them to be able to fool a lie
Exactly.
detector test, it seems. I don't know. Like it's possible they could have.
No, but it's
But
No,
the
that's
fact-
not.
it's- no, hold up.
Not those people.
No, okay,
They
that's what I'm
weren't
trying to
lying.
say.
Not those
Why
people.
would they know, and how would they know
Exactly. To clinch your butt.
Yeah,
and to
and
put
all
a
the things you got to do.
thumbtack
They don't
under
know
your,
that.
Your toe.
We watch
they
it
all
too much
have to-
harsh
no,
times.
No, there's similar things you can
True.
do.
Yes.
It's Ocean's
Yeah, that's
13,
the
by
one.
the way. I just really want this job. He's sweating his ass off. He's got the tacks on his feet. It's fucking great scene. But from where? But from
Well, this
Ocean's
also
13.
happened back in
But-
the 80s,
yeah,
right?
They took
Yeah.
another one.
Yeah, they took another
and,
one.
and they all still passed. And the fact that every single one of them, I don't know, just if it was just one guy, Yeah, I
It's
could
a
see
little-
because of the whole. If you
Exactly.
believe in it,
Exactly.
and then you truly tell yourself you believe in it, you
Yeah.
can't fool.
But
Right.
if it's
But
more
it's
than
like
one person,
5,
and this
6
was, yeah.
guys. How the fuck? What are the odds for all of
Yeah.
them
Right.
to
No, and-
believe? You know, that's
and when you see something that you've never seen before, and it's just kind of odd, it just sticks with you, you know?
Right.
Because I remember I was like maybe 6 or 7, and I remember seeing like lights, and it wasn't planes or a helicopter.
Right,
It wasn't
right.
a bird. It was like lights, but they were just playing around with each other, and they looked like stars. You know, it was kind of like kind of far, but not too far, and
Was-
that's what kind of sparked my interest.
When
Was
you were
that
younger,
here-
right?
Yeah,
Where
I
was
like-
that?
I-
Was that here or was it in Monterrey?
No, this was here in Second Ward.
Monterrey?
In Second Ward. Oh yeah, my parents are from Monterey.
What, ¿cuánto
We can
años
talk about
vividas?
this later.
No,
Let's stay on track.
I would just I was born here,
This-
but
he speaks
but I've been
English,
going
by the
all
way,
the
Ryan.
way there.
I thought that's your kid. Yeah, no,
I thought he was talking in alien language. I was like, what?
Yeah, illegal alien language.
Nah. No, fuck
There's
it.
a pre-drone.
No,
name you said.
I know Spanish too. No, yeah. So I've been going to Monterey once a year ever since
That's what's up,
I was a
dude.
kid.
Did you witness anything out there?
No, and
Hookers.
And, yeah.
Donkey
Oh,
shows?
sorry.
Is that a real
See,
thing?
and those aren't
Descriptive, like,
illegal. They're just
They're just aliens.
That's
yeah,
crazy,
but
man.
no,
Yeah.
but that's what pretty much like sparked my interest when I was a little kid, and yeah, it's just something unexplainable. Like you just can't explain.
Exactly.
Yeah,
crazy.
that's
I'm with you
that's
for sure.
I mean that I've never had an encounter or anything like that. It just to me it never seemed feasible that we were like, in a universe as vast and like as what's been explained to me that there could possibly be like this the only planet that has life. You know what I mean?
Which I don't believe, but yes,
Yeah,
it's a
there's-
possibility. But,
yeah,
but,
and one of the things we talked about on one show was the Fermi paradox, and we didn't do a very good job of talking about it.
Is that the one where we're like in sections? We can't like there's these walls that we can't.
Well,
like,
that's the
don't
the
talk about-
multiverse kind of theory.
Well,
But
no, basically, like I saw this video on Kurzik's. I forget what they call it. It's a good like animated like educational YouTube channel, and I forgot exactly what it's called, but they talked about like is like basically the life besides us, and as far as it like
I'm bored.
alien life, it's like there probably is, but they can't reach us, and they probably won't ever. And I forgot based on what the theory is.
that's
like,
kind of like the
there's-
Fermi paradox. So the Fermi
like-
paradox is basically like in a universe this big, like
'Cause we're a
if there's
speck of
life,
sand, right?
like why if there's other life, why haven't they contacted us? And if they like, so that's what the paradox is. Like
Yeah,
the
well-
the odds are that yes there is, but why haven't they contacted us? And it could be for multiple reasons.
Well,
you know?
yeah, that's what the theory was.
We've
for
had
this
a
is like
discussion
we're
about
we're
this.
like we're
Why?
in between, like in space, like
Why contact
we're-
each other?
here's like partitions right here.
You're
Like,
talking about.
and then
You're
we're-
talking
we're
about.
over here.
You're talking about frequencies.
No, I don't think that's what it is exactly. And they're just saying like just imagine if it's like a wall, like here we are right here in this section, and then
Wall.
there's
He
a
said
wall,
wall.
like there's walls
You're
in
talking-
between.
Trump-loving motherfucker.
And
Yeah,
I was
that's-
talking about
that's
like
right.
in order for
It
them to get
triggered.
over to the wall, like to get to us.
Well,
like,
that's
like,
so.
there's,
This
like,
is one of the theories. This is one of the theories is that in a universe in an infinite universe, it means you have infinite possibilities of everything, and infinite goes on for forever, and which means that anything that can happen has already happened, is happening at the same time. So infinity is kind of one of those concepts that like it's kind of hard to
yeah, because we
grasp.
can't understand.
You can't really
We
understand
grasp
it.
it.
And
Sure you
so
can.
like one of the concepts that they talk about
Way too much
can.
fucking
that
man.
all
My
these-
last marriage,
You ever-
that was.
You don't know. I mean, if you ever play Street Fighter with Infinity Time, no.
so they talk about like like other universes and things like that scientists what we can gravitate towards one of the theories, and we can get into this next episode or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. But they talk about like on Earth and like from our observable universe, from what we can see and test and postulate on, is atoms vibrate at a certain frequency.
Yeah.
And so like there could be another universe right next to ours that vibrates at a frequency that's very similar,
Right.
but
and
not
that kind
right
of goes
at
to
it.
the holographic
Universe
theory.
thing,
Yeah.
And so when you know, all these things that we attribute to aliens could be, you know, what could possibly be, you know, like fourth dimensional beings that can change the vibration of their universe and line it up with ours. And this fucker just left and we're almost done, so I guess he doesn't get a sign off.
No, fuck him. Fuck him.
So anyway, that's one of the things that like George Knapp on that deal, like he opens it up to audience questions, and one of the people asked that question, which I'm glad they asked that question. And George was like, basically, like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, is that a possibility? I won't rule it out. But you know, that's kind of one of those things that's like, you know, how do you discount something like that? I mean, it's just one of those things you have to leave on the table open for discussion because we don't have answers for any of that.
And that kind of goes more into like the super string theory and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and,
that's a lot. That's
so many dimensions.
Well, I'm gonna make it very simple here. Have everybody seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
I have not.
No, I have not.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
You talking about the
You
one
haven't
like in the
seen Flight of the
70s?
Navigator.
Yeah, but still,
Like
this
the
was
ones-
better.
The one in the 70s?
not.
The 70s, yeah, with Richard Dreyfuss.
Yes, I've seen parts of it. But why though?
If you had the chance, if a ship landed right, you know,
Oh,
in your
would
front
you
yard,
go with it?
Would you go with them?
No.
No, I wouldn't.
If they were able to tell everything and like. They will freeze time, and they'll bring you back.
Oh, yes.
They'll bring you back, and your family wouldn't even notice that you were gone.
You don't know that.
But you don't know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not.
they could be hostile.
That's true.
It could. It
You're
could.
right.
It could.
They could just be partiers and
but
they're
is-
like, "Yo,
but
wanna
where's
party
It
the-
could
with
be.
you?"
It
They're-
could
they're
be.
lying
It
to
could.
you.
They could be like, yeah, we'll drop you off. We'll bring you right back to this point in time.
Okay.
You'll experience all this stuff. That could fundamentally
right.
change your body and personality. You know, like why would you risk that? Like for the
Well,
knowledge.
maybe they had the technology to prevent that.
Well, they didn't say that.
Well, yeah,
I didn't say
maybe
that.
they,
And it's,
I'd have
maybe
a- I'd have a
it's
lot
in the
of-
form
Well,
of
maybe
a
they
pill.
would
maybe they
assume.
just want your fucking your
Dick?
DNA.
They can have it.
Yeah, your dick,
All
your
day.
DNA, your fucking everything.
Your dick
and
or
they
your
just
DNA.
they're just experimenting.
So I
on
can
you.
get my
things, yeah.
DNA from my dick.
And
That's how that works.
No, you know, they may be
That-
they may be probing you and then stroking you gently.
Nobody's
They're like,
probing
hey,
me.
Hey, you're good.
So,
this is
would
a
you-
science experiment?
I know Rob
and
won't
then
do
they
it.
drop you off. So
Paul,
I
would you
mean-
do it?
Plausible theory, Raph. But go on, Jacob.
Paul, would you do it or no?
Do what? Oh, would I do it?
Go off with them to and then they'll freeze time. They'll come back and without knowing that they're going to do that, we're hostile. on it.
That means that if they can freeze time, that means
okay, what-
that means if they could freeze time, that means that they could have you on that alien spaceship sucking alien dick for an infinite amount of time, and then
Yeah.
drop you back off.
True. No, I
Or
know.
no
you-
memory.
Wait,
with
wait.
no memory
I'm sorry,
of it.
but Zach Morris had that power.
They did.
Yeah.
He did. Time out.
Time out.
motherfucker!
It wasn't freeze time. It was just time
And
out.
we're
Yeah,
done.
Time
dipshit.
No.
It's a
I-
full
it's-
circle.
It just depends. I mean, it depends. It just depends how depressed I am.
Well, hey,
How much
Take it
alien
away.
dick you
Hey,
can
I
take?
got
Take it away,
That's
baby.
so
Let's
fun.
go.
I gotta
Change
throw
my
this-
I'll
view
be like,
of life.
let's go with these guys.
Is
Let's
it-
bring an 8-ball with us, and
It's
let's see
fucking
where it
party
takes
time.
us.
Let's go.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
saying 30
Can
pack
y'all
of Natty
clone
Light.
this? Because we're gonna need more.
Clone
See them
this.
big ass
shit
noses.
ton.
We're gonna
A
need a
shit
lot.
ton of them.
Them aliens,
No, they have no nose.
them
There's no
aliens,
nose.
they love
Yeah,
to party.
there's nothing protruding.
They
There
love
is
to
no
party.
nose.
Don't they have-
That's a typical alien gray.
It's just like their
aliens-
eyes are already wired up.
I know, right?
That's why their legs are so big.
What if, hey, but what
Like,
if,
I'm already on it,
This is-
motherfucker.
no.
theory
But,
here.
but see, the problem is if you do bring an 8-ball, and they might have Jew noses, so then that's when you're fucked.
Whoa!
What?
And there goes
What?
the
I love
racism in a little bit.
All
I
right.
love it.
Speaking of PC,
Jesus Christ.
Personal computer, guys.
Check it though.
Adrian Brody
You
has
gotta
got a hawker.
Hey, you got a time to party with aliens and you doing blow? Buck, it's gonna be a good time.
And we're done.
You're holding that line for like 10 minutes?
well, guess what?
God damn it, Raph.
All right.
All right.
Well,
line.
Fuck you both.
in all seriousness, I think we're wrapping. I think we're wrapping this episode up.
No, sir. That's why I have just getting started with my PC language.
I got another topic to talk about.
Shut
can
the
do that
fuck
next week.
up.
As in go fuck everybody. You. The wall is cool.
All right.
Yeah, Raph. All right.
No more smoke for Raph. On that note, I'm Jake.
I'm Raph.
And I'm, oh shit. I'm sorry, I'm looking at you like, I forgot it starts.
You what an asshole. First you're being racist, and now you're going to skip our guest?
How
am I
Damn
racist?
it, man.
How
looked at
am
me
I
like,
being
you-
racist?
He
Well,
wasn't
not
being
say your
racist. He's breaking your balls.
How
man.
are you not being
You're breaking
racist? You
your balls.
literally said the phrase Junos on our show.
And
in all
and
seriousness,
you also said your last name's
That
Gomez. We're
isn't-
skipping you.
Yes,
That
I
is-
heard that.
That is an observation. You can just simply fuck yourself.
We're just stating facts here.
Facts, man. That's all it is.
Let's try this again. Jake, sign us off.
Yes, that is all, sir.
I'm Jake.
I'm Raph.
And
I'm
you're
Randy.
gonna get fucked. I'm Paul.
And you talked over him. What the
Again.
fuck? You talked over him.
I'll edit that out. Don't worry.
You can't. No, I guess you can. Yeah,
Run
you
it
can.
again.
All right, I'm Jake, guys.
I'm not doing
Jake.
it
Goddamn it.
again.
I'm Jake.
He's Jake. I'm fucking Raph.
I'm Gomez.
I'm fucking Paul, guess.
I'm fucking Paul too, and I'm Rob.
But that's another
I don't
show.
feel it.
That's a whole other discussion.
I don't ever feel it.
This has been Gentlemen No Class. We'll see y'all next time.
Doesn't hug or kiss.
You can support us by liking our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, find us and follow us on Twitter and Instagram under the handle @GentlemenNoClass. Also, check out our website, gentlemannoclass.com, for all your latest Gentlemen No Class news.